everybody, this is Skeet.
Masha and Mikey.
Rock and Roll Roundtable.
Yep. Proudly presented by Moshman Media.
This week, the female phenomenon. Newer bands.
Oh, yes. Yes, the female lead person is becoming quite the thing, especially in metalcore and deathcore, even. We go back to the 60s and progress up. You've always had very powerful women lead vocalists. I mean, all the way from Grace Slick and Janis Joplin back in the 60s and people like in the 70s, you had, of course, Stevie Nicks, Debbie Harry from Blondie. There's been a plethora of great female front people. In the 80s, it went more, Debbie, you had Melinda Carlisle from the Go-Go. You had Patti Smythe from Scandal. You started getting more like what was Susie and the Banshees girl. So you're getting into punk rock music. You had Missing Persons in the 80s with the new wave. They started Voices and Till Tuesday, motels, the Quarter Flack. So yeah, the 80s really ramped up female singers, but they were all in that same vein. The happy, the sappy, even the Love Song stuff. And nobody was ever outrageous. Now, Pat Benatar had a little angst to her.
Yeah, and she had a hell of a voice.
Yeah, and to me, I think Ann Wilson did too. She could. Like Barracuda, stuff like that. Was like, it was catching your attention. And that was even in the, late 70s, early 80s?
Yeah, 70s, mid-70s.
But Pat Benatar was like the first one that I remember as being like, okay, here's a girl that's got a little, she's got a little giddy up in her.
Well, and she was rock.
She was what?
She was rock. She was
rock.
Yeah. And some of the other bands that you're talking about in the 80s were more towards the pop.
Yeah. And most of them were, and that's the thing. And then you get into the 90s, even in the 90s, you had like Gwen Stefani when she was in No Doubt. She was a hell of a front person. She moved around a lot. She was animated singer, but still, it's like hard, maybe a touch of hard rock in there, but not much. More ska kind of feeling. And it really wasn't until the 2000s for me. Now, there might be, I'm not saying before 2000 there wasn't any heavy women singers. I'm sure I'm missing about 8,000 or more of them right now. But the first one I really remember grabbing my attention was Morgan Landers from Kitty.
Okay.
Just because this, not only was it an all-girl band, but this girl was screaming and yelling and growling at point. Now, back then, to be honest, I didn't get the whole growling concept. I didn't understand. I was like, man, why's she doing that? Not really catching on to the fact that it matched the music. I mean, I progressed as a listener in my mind because I didn't get all that growling stuff until later, like a decade after that. But I still liked Kitties. I did like their music, and I really liked Morgan Landers. I ain't gonna lie. But they were the first ones I remember as being female fronted that was really intense.
Yeah.
I mean, it fit them. It took the man role of the band, if you want to be that chauvinistic, I guess is what they would say. But then one in the mainstream that really caught my attention was around 2003. That was Amy Lee from Evanescence. But then again, they had a song that was kind of hard rock, but she could also sing My Immortal. And, she sang the lovey dovey, soft, girly stuff too. Don't call me when you're sober. So, but still, there was people there. Now, the next one that I knew that really said, okay, this lady doesn't care about nothing was Maria Brink from In This Moment.
Okay.
Because she come out in all the tight clothes, the nurse, whatever the hell outfit she'd have on, showing everything, pretty much. She was an older woman. I mean, she's older comparably to these young stars, but she was a sex villain. It's like she was sexual to beat hell, and her songs were like not nice. She had songs like horror, and that was more of my okay. This is the sexy part of heavier music, which is like that's cool. You don't see that on a daily basis. So it started to evolve around then, and I'd seen Hailstorm come out. Like, well, here's another. She's not over the top yelling, growling, or anything like that, but she's still a very forceful woman in the lead role. She lets you know that she's a woman and she doesn't give a shit if you like it or not. And the band was a little touch heavier than like an Evanescence.
Yeah.
So it kept progressing and progressing and progressing. Now, I'm saying in the 2020s, it's become dominated,
Yeah.
especially in metalcore. I mean, it's just every time you turn around, there's a band that's getting real popular, and it's the female lead vocalist. Sometimes the whole band
Yeah.
that are heavy, like Kitty, kind of a Kitty brought forward into
Well,
2024, 25.
so Kitty was around when did they come out? When did they come out?
2000. 2000 was the first
2000?
time that, yeah, the first, I think, album was 2000.
Okay. Because I thought I had them in. I got
They might have been late
Evanescence in
90s
there.
even. Yeah, I seen them. I seen the first time I seen them was an Ozfest video or something
Okay.
because they did spit right out the bat. I'm like, what? That's
But
crazy.
at the fucking time that Kitty was out, you're also kind of you just got done having all the alternative acts,
Yeah, the grunge alternative.
the
Yeah,
grunge and the alternative. So you had your Alanis Morissette and anybody that was on the Lilith Affair.
yeah, yeah.
So I
Oh,
mean,
yeah. Rock music. Yeah,
but
like you said, rock music.
yeah, but some of that was kind of like solo acts. So I wasn't really kind of throwing like some of the solo act people into what we were talking about as far as rock, hard rock, grunge. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, they had that whole section in the fucking late '90s, early 2000s where they were all over the place. But there was a lot of like your folk and all that stuff,
yeah.
like the Lilith
There
Fair
was
type stuff.
Melissa Etheridge and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
So, but that's what I'm saying. What's her name? Pitcher. She did with Kid Rock.
Sure. Oh, Sheryl Crow.
Yeah, Sheryl Crow. So these artists have been here, but as far as the hard rock, you know, that the
Yeah,
real phenomenon is where you're hitting, like you said, in the 2015 to 2025.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and there was pioneers that led them, I think, to the
Yeah,
way because you go back into the 80s, the hair metal and glam, and you had bands like Warlock
yeah.
with Dora Pesh.
George Pesh.
You had Lita Ford. You had other. I know there's a big one from the '80s I'm missing right now. I'm trying my hardest
Joan
to think.
Jett.
I'm
I
like,
mean,
oh, you had that, but I'm thinking there's like a metal band that had. Stupid
Vixen.
me, Vic, the whole
Yeah,
band of
Vixen.
Vixen. Yeah, I mean Janet Gardner was a hell of a singer.
Yeah,
But yeah, they didn't. It wasn't like it was an unknown entity to have
yeah, yeah,
female singers, but I don't think it didn't bust me in the chops and smack me in the face until I heard Tatiana, of course.
yeah.
Because okay, here's this beautiful, soft-spoken, singing girl that goes into this growling, guttural, bowels of hell sound in an instant, in a flick of a switch. And that was the first time that I'd really heard something that was so distant from the clean vocals to the guttural vocals. And she wasn't the first one I'd heard, but it was the first one that could flip it back and forth like that.
Yeah,
That is becoming the way right now. And it's
yeah.
not, all of them don't switch. There's some like that can, like, okay, Alyssa White Glues is in Arch Enemy.
Yeah.
And Arch Enemy has a contract that says she can only sing guttural.
Oh,
She
really?
cannot she cannot switch back and forth because it's not the sound they want. I've heard her sing on other people's recordings, and
Yeah.
she's a phenomenal clean singer. So
Wow.
it's like it's the way they wanted to run their shit. And maybe they've softened up. This was years ago. I haven't heard the newest Arch Enemy by any means. I should, but I haven't.
Okay.
But that's where the trend started for me was okay, Tatiana's doing this growling stuff. And she's very good at it. And it's, of course, I'm biased. She's my favorite. They're my favorite band, whatever. But it opened the world for me to go in and say, who else is doing this kind of stuff? And boy, did I find a rabbit hole there. My God, dude. And there's a million bands that I don't even know the girl's name.
Yeah.
There's one I don't know the name of your girl, Burning Witches. I don't know them. I don't know her name.
Yeah, Laura.
But she's not much of a guttural person, but she's more like not a. I don't call them symphonic metal either. I think they're a little heavier than that. So it's kind of like eh, they're power metal, in that vein. I would think. So, but there's this band from Brazil or something. They're called Crypta. Holy moly! This girl sounds like a demon. I mean, an actual. It scares me a little bit.
Yeah,
It's like
Crypto from Brazil.
yeah, and it's like they are they're out there. Now we just talked about a one that I don't know these girls' names. They're pretty new, called the Pretty Wild,
The
and
Pretty Wild.
they incorporate rap kind of shit in there too. It's like wow,
Yeah.
they sing fast. That song they have with Deadlands is like, ooh, she's moving. She's Tom McDonald in that shit.
Wow.
Yeah, and, there's just a ton of these bands. The one we had on, I found them and I introduced them to you. There's more than one on this list, but one from Australia called Volatile Waves. They
Okay.
are becoming that's deathcore, which even more unexplained, uncharted territory for women lead vocalists. But it's not the only one. There's another band called Nervosa that's
Yeah.
deathcore kind of sound.
Yeah.
I mean, it just goes on and on, man. There's a whole list. I mean, you go back to your standards, earlier ones like Butcher Babies, sure.
Yeah. Yep. I
You
got
can
that
go
there.
you can go back to Anna Glasgow, who was in the Agonist. who was also where Alyssa White Glues started. But you can go to Walls of Jericho. Walls of Jericho was huge in the early 2000s, and they're making a comeback tour this summer. It'd be
Okay.
very cool. I get to see that. It's like I used to listen to Walls of Jericho just music for the music, but the singing was cool. Straight Line Stitch was a big one for me in the 2010 era, where it was Alexis Brown, and don't even go there with the racist shit. But it was the first black girl I had seen in the front of one of these bands.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of like the heavy version of Aretha Franklin, or, it's like,
Yeah.
you just don't see it. I had never seen it. And she was a sweetheart. I got to meet her, got my picture with her. They were a great band. I really enjoyed them. I've talked about in the past, I wrestled a bear once,
Yeah.
which was a heavy hardcore band in the emo kind of days. That was where Courtney LaPlante went before she's in her current band. But that was some heavy growling shit that, I didn't understand at the time. I go
Yeah.
back and listen to that now and I think, well, that's brilliant. Yeah, that's genius for back then. But
Yeah.
I didn't get it. And a lot of people will never understand or never want to understand the whole guttural vocals, the growling, the screaming. Not just the women. I'm talking every band. Like Knocked Loose is one of the biggest hardcore bands in probably the world right now. But people hate the singer because it's like he sounds like he's a 12-year-old kid throwing a tantrum. It just fits, man. I don't know. I mean, it's not my favorite of those kind of bands, but it does fit the angst and the pissed offness that their breakdowns will give to you. Maybe I think he's improving. I think his voice is actually not as grating on me anymore. I think he's toned it down a little bit, and that's good because I like their music. I don't want to have to struggle through vocals. But for some of these women, OTEP, I don't know. I've never heard her. I've
Yeah.
heard about her a lot. And the big running thing with OTEP around here is the bank ran out of money because that's where one of our local
Yeah.
promoters kind of screwed the pooch
Yeah.
for that show. But I try to find some other band. Well, there's newer bands like Gore. I have not heard them yet. I need to get on that. But they're showing up everywhere. Everywhere I look,
Huh.
they're showing up as this girl singer, and I'm like, okay. I Employed to Serve was one I found just scooting around. I think it was YouTube Reels, and they're English, and this girl is pretty intense. They were always under the radar for me. I heard them, I liked them. They just got a new song that I think might propel them out because it was her duetting with Will Ramos, who's considered the best growler in the world right now. Well, second best for me. For Alex Terrible's the best,
Yeah.
but Will Ramos is probably the best growling and singer. He sings for Lorna Shore, so they did a song together, and it's kind of taken off for that genre. So Employed to Serve is one to keep your ears out for. They're not the heaviest in the world, but they're definitely not as soft either.
Yeah.
But she's a very emotional singer, put it that way. Yeah, the only other one on this list, and I'm going to say the one that scares me. This lady, to watch her sing is like a horror movie because she has her process. She goes through it. But there's this girl. Her name is Cheney Crab, and the band is called Enthenos. I believe is how you pronounce it. It's a weird name. I was introduced to this band by a cousin of mine in Florida, and yeah, she scared me. I mean, legit scares me. The way she looks like a shapeshifter, the way she sings, and the voice goes from the lowest you can get to the highest you can get in 2.2 seconds, or zero
Wow.
point 0.2 seconds, I should say. So, I mean, it's like she's got some demonic forces or she's just very well trained, whatever. I think demonic forces for her would not be out of the realm of possibility because she is spooky. I don't know, dude. Is there anything that you've heard, any of these bands that have been out? I know you don't listen to as much
Well,
as I do, but anybody catch
so
your attention, female
so
wise?
uh, I went ahead and I was asking my good buddy Grok, the AI from X, to give me a list of 25 female fronted bands or all female bands in the hard rock, heavy metal, punk rock genres from
Right?
2023 to 2025 because we wanted to get the
Oh,
newer
yeah, yeah.
bands. So I,
Right.
I just went for the last 2 years, and he popped up a couple things, and I had to add some stuff to get a little bit more to it, and I had him include Burning Witches because that's the band that I got into. My buddy got me listening to them. Saw them a couple times. Really enjoyed it. So, and basically, I give the list of 25 was because I said Burning Witches, that they put that first. So this is not in any kind of ranking order or nothing. It's just a list of them. So
Right.
there was Burning Witches, uh, Pretty Reckless.
Yeah, I know who they are. I don't
So
listen
they're
to
hard
them.
rock, and they opened up for ACDC on their European tour just last year.
Yeah,
So
that's
they're
Taylor Momsen.
Taylor
Yeah,
Momsen.
yeah.
So uh, and then we got Hailstorm.
Oh, yes.
So I've heard Hailstorm, Lizzie Hale, Arch Enemy.
Word. Yeah,
You brought up. Uh, there's possibly having a new album, whispers of a new album in 2025.
I've heard that. I've heard that. I just haven't. I haven't been following. I don't. I'm having trouble following music because there's so fucking much anymore.
Well,
It's
Arch,
overwhelming.
I think Arch Enemy was John's one of John's favorite bands.
Yeah, yeah. He listened to a lot of that because they're
Yeah,
in
a
that
lot of
vein,
Arch
man.
Enemy.
European hard rock or hard
Melodic death
symphonic.
metal is what
Yeah,
he's got it here from
right.
Sweden.
Yeah,
Okay. We got Lacuna Coil, another. I think that's another one that John was like, "Oh yeah,
yeah,
Lacuna
yeah.
Coil."
She's on my list. I like Lacuna Coil myself. I think Christina is excellent. You know, so she's more of that European feel, like the Nightwish with Floor Jansen.
Well, and
You know,
we're getting there. Uh,
okay.
so there, it's so Grok says a full album is expected in 2025.
Yeah, I did hear that. I did hear
So
Lacuna
Lacuna
Coil.
Coil might have something new here this year. Your Butcher Babies with
Yeah, Carla
Heidi Shepard
Harvey.
and Carla Harvey.
Yeah, Harvey's the one I know.
Uh, she left though.
Did she?
Yeah, it says this duo fronted band released Eye for an Eye in 2023. After Carla Harvey's departure in 2024, Heidi
Oh,
Shepard continues leading the charge
oh, that's
with
different.
new material teased for 2025. So they might have a new album.
That's cool. I have to see what Carla Harvey does. That'd be
I
interesting
I
to have
I,
another band.
I know she went somewhere else, and I just don't know it right off the top of my head. You might have to
Okay.
poke
Yeah,
around
I
and
might
see
have
what
to
you
look
find
that
there.
up.
Spirit Box, which is one you had mentioned with Courtly LaPlante.
Absolutely. Oh yes.
They've got a 2025 world tour plan,
Yep.
so
Yep.
they're going to be around. your Evanescence, with the potential album. Oh, nice. She had new singles in 2024.
I didn't even know that. I don't follow Evanescence, but we didn't get to see them last year because of the hurricane. But
Yeah.
we get to see them this year because they're coming back. So that'd be cool. I finally get to see Evanescence.
Nightwish.
Yeah,
That's
that's Floor
Floor Jansen.
Jansen.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Uh, First album was in 2020. They're touring heavily into 2025. Okay, I also added punk rock. So have you heard of the Distillers?
Just recently, now you say that, I just saw them on YouTube, or maybe it was, yeah, I think it was YouTube. That's the first time I had seen a video of them. And that
Okay,
was just maybe 2 days ago. So
okay.
it's kind of odd that you bring that up. I'll have to dig more into them.
Fronted by Brody Dolly. Brody Dolly. Uh,
Hmm.
Brodydalle. That's who their front person is. They
Wow.
reunited in 2018. Uh, they must have had some singles come out in 2023. A long awaited fourth album is in progress for 2025. So that must be what they're working on now.
I'll check that out.
Kitty, new metal, death metal from Canada, Morgan Lander. Uh, and that he's got all female band returned in 2024 with Fire, which I fucking love that album.
That's my metal album of the year right there.
Uh, Number 12 is Ginger. You
Oh,
heard of
cool.
them?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. No, I don't know.
It says new EP dropped in 2024, which I think we've heard this. We heard the singles before the
Well, the
album just
album,
dropped.
yeah, the album dropped this year. So,
February, wasn't it? It dropped in
yep,
February. Okay.
February 7th. Yeah, about a month ago.
And then you mentioned Crypta, death metal
Yep.
from Brazil. Fernanda Lira is the
Oh
front.
yeah, that is. Yeah, she's pretty cool.
All female death metal act. Crypta released Shades of Sorrow in 2023.
That's the only album I think I've heard anything from, or the song EP, whatever the hell it was.
Says they're gaining traction with 2025 festival bookings.
Probably in just South America.
Okay. Oh, here's one you did not mention. So we got Sprints.
Sprints.
They're garage punk from Ireland.
Hmm.
Carla Chubb is the front woman. Uh, Carla Chubb's Fierce Delivery marked 2024's Letter to Self. They're a punk standout with 2025 tours lined up.
And it's
So
what is it called again?
they have an album, Letter to Self.
Yeah, but
They're
what's the name of the band again?
Sprints.
Sprints. Okay, I'll have to make a mental note of that. I have
Yeah.
never heard of them. So
I'll send you this if I have to.
that's all right. I got most of them, but I just don't have that one.
Okay, we got New Year's Day.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Ashley Costello.
Yep, Ash Costello led the band to Half Black Heart release was 2023. Active
Yeah.
touring into 2025.
Yeah,
Okay.
they played. My wife's actually got to see them a couple times. So they played with
Oh, nice.
Shinedown, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, we got the Last Dinner Party, indie rock punk edge from the UK.
Hmm.
Uh, Abigail Morris fronts for them.
Yeah.
They had Prelude to Ecstasy in 2023.
Never heard of
Dramatic
them.
dramatic punk infused rock continued evolving with 2024 singles. So, The Last Dinner Party got
Hmm.
some indie rock punk. We got Cherem, pop punk rock, Northern Ireland.
No thanks. No, that doesn't even sound right. pop punk from Northern Ireland. Nope.
Okay. Swim School.
Nope. I ain't heard none of that shit.
That indie
That's what
punk.
I said. I'm not an indie punk person. So
Okay. Scotland. You
Scotland
got.
might be cool.
They had an EP duality in 2023 and singles board. That's saying this Alice Johnson, who fronts the swim school, Haley Williams esque vocals. Do you know who Haley Williams is?
Yeah, Paramore.
Oh, okay, okay. So it's
Yeah,
say they must have a sound similar to Paramore.
I'm sure a lot of people try to replicate that. So
Girl Scout is an indie rock punk band from Sweden. Emma
I would
Jans,
know.
merging 2023. Jazzy rock vibes. You might like
Fuck
that.
that. No, I wouldn't.
Uh, they had a 2024 EP Headspace.
Sounds
So
all artsy. That sounds artsy fartsy shit to me. It's not definitely not my
okay.
thing.
See You Space Cowboy.
Yeah, can't
Metalcore
remember them.
metalcore slash sasscore. What the fuck is sasscore?
Sasscore, I think, is kind of. It's probably. I would say it's the girl talking smack. I'm not saying that's
Okay.
what it is. There are some that do that kind of thing, but I've never heard it called that. Sasscore.
And they're they got a 2024 release, coup de grace, and 2025 tours on the horizon. So
No, that
that's something right up your alley though. Metalcore.
metalcore, but not the. I don't know about sasscore, but they've had one's called. She called it something, and it's bimbo core. She calls it some kind of bimbo core, but it's Liz Fetish, and Liz Fetish can call it me, you, the man in the moon. She can call it anything she wants. She's one of those a super sex appealing girl.
Okay.
Not so much a pageant queen, but she could be probably, but she chooses not to
Okay.
because this band she's in is called Brat,
Okay.
Brat, Brat. She
I
is
think
so
I've
fun to
heard of them.
watch, dude,
I think I've
and
heard
she's a
of them.
good singer. They just did a cover of. I didn't care for it really. I hate to say that. Don't kill me, Miss Fetish. They did a cover of Barracuda by
Oh,
Heart.
nice.
And I think it just went too far for me, because I love Barracuda.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want the growling to be like almost seemed, it seemed condescending at points.
Okay.
But that's what she doesn't give. She doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
She's one of those girls, and she does these real high kicks on stage and stuff. And it's like, oh, to be in the front row.
Oh, jeez.
If I could just be in the front row. But she seems pretty cool. I mean, I've seen like they were on an episode of like Bus Invaders and stuff. She seems really cool
Okay.
anyway. But that's more of the style. Of course, my two girls, my duo with Lizzie and Olivia from Not Enough Space, they're kind of taking over a little bit in metalcore that I can see. Now, they had moancore come out when
Yeah.
they added a moan to a breakdown, which sent people into, you know, it's like it's really not a thing, but they just tease it as being moancore because the one song had perfectly placed moan. It's perfectly placed in primitive. And they come out with a new song called the Solace in Silence, and it shows off Lizzie's clean vocals a lot more, but Olivia goes into the growls, and it's like she does this part in the song, dude, where all she says is 6 feet deep, and then it's a breakdown part, and then she does this straight from hell growl thing, and it's like sounds like somebody getting massacred. And
I'm
it's like
curious.
that might be it's beautiful though. I mean, it fits perfect. They are very good at putting things in where they belong, where they fit perfect. But those two, I think they're gonna. Like I've said it a million times. I think they're gonna be huge, and they've been playing a lot of shows, and they've had a couple hit come around here. But I'll catch them. I'll catch
Okay.
them. So yeah, that'll be cool to
So they're
catch
teaming
them.
up. Is that what you're
Uh,
saying? Lizzie Hale and this other artist?
no, her name's this is Lizzie something.
Oh, okay, okay,
I don't know what her last name is. That's what I said. But Lizzie and Olivia are the
okay,
two front singers for Not Enough Space. One sings the clean, one sings the guttural. That's how they do it, and they're badass. And they're just badass. Other bands like Delta Hate, very intense, but still very melodic. Their lead singer's name is also a Liz. There's a run on Lizzie's there, but she's yeah, they should be bigger than they are. I think there's a lot of good stuff. They've come out with an EP that I downloaded. I dig it.
okay. Lizzie Ratma and
Is
Liv
that not?
Mitchell.
Yeah, probably. I don't know their last names. I just know they're
Okay, I looked it up real quick. So you got Lizzie Ratma and Liv Mitchell. So it must be
yeah.
Olivia Mitchell.
Olivia, yeah.
Okay, all
I think they call her Liv
right, okay,
most times anyway.
all right,
But yeah, that they're in the same veins to me as Casey Carlson is with Deadlands. I think
okay.
Deadlands is climbing the ladder too, and a lot of that reason for that is Casey, of course. But she's not the only reason. But she definitely brings the vibe to it, and her clean vocals are so good. I don't. I kind of wish she would use them more, but I understand she's going by emotions. She's going to say, just like Tatiana, a lot of times I wish she would sing her clean vocals a little more, but the growling works, and that's what they're feeling in the song. I'm not going to,
Well,
I ain't going to try to call your creativity out.
that
I mean,
that new Ginger, it seems like she's kind of spaced it pretty even. I noticed a lot more clean vocals
yeah,
than that
yeah, but
in the new one.
I think there's only two songs, maybe three in their career that she so completely does clean lyrics, clean vocals, which is not her style to do, just clean, but she has done them. And those songs are phenomenal. So it's like
Yeah,
Bad Water's the best one. I mean, it's just like she just sings it. But it's part of Ginger's identity is to switch it up and make
yeah.
it more intense. So I get it. I'm never gonna say I just like the clean vocals too. But the one that might be challenging, I mean, other than Courtney, because Courtney LaPlante, there's just something sexy about that lady, man. But her vocal, the way her stage persona, I should say, just the dancing and because it's hard to dance to metalcore, but she can do it. Olivia or Liv Mitchell, well, I guess from Not Enough Space can definitely do it. Tatiana does it beautifully. So it's like they are that into it that they can, you know, do a whole dance kind of thing. But Lena Scissorhands from Infected Rain is another uh, multi-talented person, and they're from unknown Moldova, wherever the hell that is. I don't even know what country that's in, but I just don't think they get enough love because they're not, you know, out there in the spotlight. But definitely, I like some of it. I don't like it all. I'll be honest. But she's definitely entertaining. Poppy's the newest big thing, but Poppy's more of a hybrid. Poppy does real heavy music. She also does pop sounding music. she's kind of going back and forth, but she guest stars on all these bands songs like Knocked Loose and Spirit Box. And I even Bad Omens. I think she's on a Bad Omens song. So it's like, yeah, she's kind of maybe at first because of her looks, but she's got the screams for sure. She's got the intensity for sure. She's an up and comer, put it that way. If you're just going by pure looks for girls, if you weird, there's any weirdos out there that just want, I want the hottest girl in metal. I want the hottest girl. I mean, Tatiana's not going to be beat, but a close second for me is Tanya from Monochromatic Black. Whoa.
Never fucking heard of
She's a Long Island girl.
them.
Wears the big hoop earrings, got the long curly black hair, just dark skinned, everything. Everything about this girl. Not only can she sing and growl to greatness, but oh my God, if you don't, you need to look that up if you when you get time. I'm telling you,
What are they
Tanya
called?
is Monochromatic Black, and she's awesome. I mean, they played at Blind Bob's down here at a place close to Dayton, in Dayton, close to me, and I didn't get to go, and I'm kicking myself, squaring my ass every day because I didn't make that happen somehow, some way. I would love to see them come back around because they're they're like technical deathcore kind of stuff. The guitars are very intricate. The bass is very intricate, and there. She is. There's my time. I just think she's good. Yeah, and that's an old picture too because I think the whole band's revamped now.
Oh, okay. Now I see.
Oh,
I see all the tattoos on the arm. All right.
oh yeah, she's
Well,
hot as
there you
shit.
go. Okay.
Hot as shit, man. And
Yeah.
she's not.
Okay.
And it's not the only reason because I listened to them before I ever saw her. But yeah, she did. Come on, tell me that. Tell me that ain't hotness personified. I'm telling you it is. And she's a sweetheart. When I heard her in an interview and sounds so just sweetheart, but had that attitude like I'm from Long Island, don't fuck with me kind of thing.
Yeah.
But not in a mean way. It's just she's no pushover, and
Yeah.
that's just the way I got. But anyway, I don't want to talk about. I don't really care about the looks as much, but when you
Well.
get the bonus, when you hear the
Yeah.
music and then you get the bonus of of something great to look at, it's a win-win. And there's a
Well.
bunch of them that are just getting noticed for their looks. And then you got to really listen to them and say, well, hell, that's pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
There's one called Elise. Her name is Elise Ride. And the band I'd never heard of, Amaranthi or something. But this girl's pictures everywhere. I still have not listened to them. But I've seen she's like the poster child for this genre, I guess.
Yeah.
But I haven't listened to it yet. So I am not gonna give her an A plus or a B or any kind of ranking until I
You get
hear the
listen
band.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Well.
there's three singers in that band. So I don't know why maybe she's just the most outgoing one. I don't.
She's an eye candy. Well,
Yeah,
Mike, I still got. Let's see. I've got like five more bands. So OTEP is on here. You
yeah.
mentioned
I'm not a
those.
fan.
You mentioned them
Not a
earlier.
fan of them, but I mean, I know a lot of people are.
Uh, L7.
That's old school. Yeah, that's back
Yeah.
in Seattle grunge days. Yeah.
They dropped some archival releases in 2024, so they're trying to stay relevant.
Yeah,
That's
I think they're back.
Danita Sparks and Susie Gardner from L7. Have you heard Within Temptation?
No, but I've heard that name thrown around a lot. Now I don't know.
It's symphonic metal from the Netherlands.
Okay.
So they had a 2023 album, Bleed Out. So they're
I don't
supposed to be
know.
touring. Now here's one that you might fucking dig: Nervosa.
Yeah, I talked about them a little bit
Okay,
a
all
little
right.
while back, but yeah, I mean, I've heard limited stuff from them, but
Okay,
it's
well
pretty cool.
they had an album called Jailbreak in 2023. So I'm just trying to name some of these
Yeah,
albums so people can go out and kind of check some of these albums out. And then the last one on
yeah.
the list was Bad Cop, Bad Cop.
That one's a new one. I've never heard that.
They're a punk rock band from the USA. Stacy D and Jenny Cotterill, all female punk rock act, toured in 2023, released singles in 2024, and they're teasing an album in 2025. So they must have some singles out. Bad Cop, Bad Cop.
I'll check that out. I
So
mean,
that, yeah,
there's a lot of them that I'd never heard of, and I had to go listen to a song or two
yeah,
before today. But one that there's a band called The Anchor, and this girl named Lindsay something, and that was pretty intense. They had some. I mean, I got to go. I was swarming through all these trying to get, make sure I had enough on the list for
yeah.
today because I have what my little circle is what I listen to. So I
Okay,
went out my box a little bit and get some of these. And then there was one that came up that I said, I've heard these guys 1,000 times. Couldn't believe I forgot about it. Was Emma Boster from Dying Wish. They're hardcore.
okay,
They're more hardcore. So that's a rarity. More than maybe metalcore now is, but they're becoming more common. But women in hardcore is kind of,
yeah,
I think it's been kind of taboo because you know how hardcore is supposed to be with
yeah,
the people dancing, coming up on the stage and diving off. But there's more girls doing it now than you'd ever expect in your life. Uh, there's another band called Anchor without the, and they spell it with a K. That's Jesse Williams. They're melodic, uh, more fit into the cookie cutter kind of mold for me, but I listen to it. Camille Contreras from Novelist. Novelist is going to be one that I'm going to be digging into because I listened to two songs on the reels from YouTube. Yeah, I need to listen to more of that because I think I'm going to like Novelist quite a bit.
okay,
And there's a couple other ones like that. Make Them Suffer. I heard a song, and Alex Reed sings for them. Um, and definitely Lake Malice. They're a little bit soft. They're more like a pop. I don't want to call them pop, but they're not metalcore to me. They're like harder rock, I guess. But the band's called Lake Malice, like I said, and Alice Guala is the singer for them. So, yeah, I mean, we know the champion of metalcore is Tatiana. I mean, I don't know that anybody's going to try to argue that with me. They may, but you're going to lose the argument with me. But just to me, there's just a million of these bands coming out, and I just don't have time to listen to all of them that I want to. But there was some that people were suggesting to me when I asked the question on my TikTok account.
okay,
And I asked it, and I said, well, what should I listen to? I've heard bands like Conquer Divide. I still haven't got to it. Set Your Sails, Venues, The Charm, The Fury. Uh, there was a couple that they said were old school, but they suggested Raven Black. I seen them. I seen them. They
yeah.
opened actually for Ginger at
Wow.
the Alrosa. And so did Sumo Psycho, who was another band that I'd forgotten about, but they were interesting. They were dressed up like mental patients or whatever. And there's one called the one I got 3 or 4 requests on, the band called Red Handed Denial. I'm gonna have to dig into this stuff, but I'm kind of locked into the new Ginger album. I listen to it at least once a day. Uh, the Kitty album's still pretty high rotation. So Morgan Landers and Courtney LaPlante, they're all vying for my attention right now. But I personally, tell you the truth, I think I listen to more female-led bands now than I do anything else.
Yeah.
And it's not because I don't still love my normal rock music or heavy metal with the guy singers, like whatever. But there's just something about the women being this powerful about stuff. I mean, Not Enough Space is climbing the ladder. Casey Carlson and Deadlands is climbing my ladder. It's like every day. The symphonic metal, I would love to be able to listen to it, but I can't. I can only listen to that for a little while.
Yeah.
But man, I really liked Floor Jansen. I like Simone Simmons. We didn't even talk about that. She's one of my favorites. A symphonic metal at Epica. So it's like, yeah, there's a lot. There's a band called Delain. You'll have to look at Delain,
I think I've
and
heard I've heard that name. I've heard that name.
they are coming to Columbus.
I think that's why I
And
heard that name.
probably, and I think they have a female singer, but I bet your friend John there would probably be able to tell you about that. I think they're in that vein. I think they're
Okay.
symphonic.
Well,
No,
we're
I don't
gonna
want to say, but
we're gonna go see Rolling Quartz.
the Korean band. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
the ladies from South Korea. I gave a lot of their songs a try. You're not gonna like it because it's
It's
more.
I've heard it. I've heard it. I
Yeah,
had a buddy. Actually, my buddy Wolfie sent me a. He sent like almost a year ago. Said he had checked these kids out or guys, girls out or whatever.
yeah,
So I listened. I watched a live video. I think it was a live video I saw.
yeah.
Uh, I mean, I didn't hate it, but it's not my style.
Well, it's more that poppy, punky type.
Yeah, I think you called it K-pop at one time. It's like no,
Yes, it's
it's
K-pop.
not. It's not K-pop. That's not what comes to my mind when I hear K-pop. I hear like K-pop. I'm thinking Korea's version of Justin Bieber or something. I wasn't
Yeah.
thinking that's a little more. It might be called K-pop, and I'm out the loop. I'm an old man, but it doesn't sound like just pop to me. I
Well,
think it had
I
a
mean,
little more to it.
it's got the fucking hard guitars in it, so I liked it. I was like,
Yeah,
I kind of dig his
uh,
stuff.
I mean, a lot of people don't like baby metal, but a lot of people do. So it just depends on your. It's creepy to me. Baby metal was always creepy because I felt like a pedophile watching it. It's like these girls are so young and they're singing all this angst and stuff. It's like I don't want to be like all intense about them. I would feel like a creep,
No, 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 not yeah. It's
and I just don't.
but
I mean, I get,
that's Japanese culture stuff. That's the
yeah, yeah,
schoolgirl
exactly.
outfits. It's kind of like you could
I
go
get
watch
it.
them play, but yeah, it's like no, that's
I could
just
listen. I could listen to it on occasion, but it's not something I'm going to get obsessed with and it's
yeah,
not because I
exactly.
would. It's not because of anything sexual.
That's not
I was just
yeah.
joking about that, but I'm just saying it made me feel a little. It just, why am I watching this? It's kind of thing. So it's like I listen to it, but I wouldn't want to go see it. I don't
Well,
think it'd just
it's
be weird.
it's like going to see Liliac, and they're
Yeah, Liliac. Yeah,
they were teeny boppers when they started, and they're starting to get a little bit older because they've been around for a
yeah,
few
yeah,
years, and
yep.
it creeped me out. There was like older guys like trying to hurry up and get up front, and I'm like, dude, there's nobody here. You know, the crowd hadn't come up, and it was like freaking out, and I'm like, I just didn't get it. It's like, yeah, they're good. She can sing, but it's just like,
well, with Liliac,
60-year-old guys like
yeah, but their claim to
fanboying
fame,
over this stuff. I was like,
her claim to fame though was Dio covers.
yeah,
And I think that might have got the attention of a lot of people our age or older, is how well she sings Dio. But I don't know what their intentions were by having to get up that close. Maybe it was just to
yeah. It
watch.
was just, it was weird. I've seen that a few shows here and
Yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah.
It's
She's
like,
super good. She's a
yeah,
dramatic singer too. So I think people want to be able to see her because she does all the Ronnie James Dio esque stuff with her hands and
yeah,
mystic shit, and it's a good show. It's just it's funny because I think when I saw her, it was well them I should say. I don't want to say her, but I think it was the first or second show that she wasn't playing bass anymore
okay,
because she started out as the bass player. Well, they wanted her to get more of a frontman style.
yeah.
So when I saw him when I first saw him, she was walking around with the mic stand all day and twisting it around and like Steven Tyler kind of shit. I don't think she knew exactly how to
What to do?
do it. Yeah, because she is so used to playing bass. And I look forward to seeing them again this summer because it'll be how much have they progressed?
Yeah.
Since I saw them 5 years ago, 6, 7 years, whatever it was. I
Well,
saw them a long time ago.
they were doing the videos and stuff, so everybody got to see them doing the videos, and that kind of what
Yeah.
took them off. And they seemed like they were polishing their act up pretty much.
Well,
So
yeah,
it was
from going,
smooth.
they used to just go to Santa Monica Pier and play every weekend
Yeah,
just for free to just get exposure. They've come a long way.
yeah, exactly.
And, the other guys in the kids, the other family members in the band are all willing to do what it takes because, one had to switch to play the bass. They went from keyboard to the bass. They had the youngest one. They had to teach him how to play keyboard all of a sudden.
Yeah,
So it's like, yeah, everybody's kind of working together. And it was weird when I found out that the drummer girl had actually left for a while.
yeah,
But it's a family. I get it. But she's back. I'm hearing that she's back and
yeah,
doing all her things. So it's cool. Uh, for me, there's old school singers like Amy Lee. I think Amy Lee's one of the better ones. As far as rock music, I still dig like Alanis Morissette, probably the most. At least that one album was just hard to beat. But
yeah.
I like Amy Lee. I like Lizzie Hale singing. I like Maria Brink. But I think as far as that kind of music, mainstream rock music or whatever, do you have a favorite that you listen to? Like, it doesn't have to be brand new, but is there somebody that you listen like Lita Ford, your favorite, or is
Oh, god damn.
Pat Benatar? It could be Belinda Carlisle. It could be because there's so many for me. Mine's Stevie Nicks, probably. If you're just talking a rock singer, and Tatiana by a mile in metal, just because Tatiana can do it all. That's my thing.
I like I like Lita because she could sing and she still rocks on guitar. I like I was a huge Pat Benatar fan
I did like that.
back when I was in what junior high, whatever, getting into high school. Because
Yeah.
she was hot, but
Oh yeah.
she could fucking sing like nothing. So that was kind of like you look past the looks and actually appreciate the talent. It's like, this girl she wails, man. She just wails.
It was early Pat Benatar for me. I didn't really care for the Love of the Battlefield, We Belong Together, all that. I mean, it was okay. It was good because Pat Benatar, but
Yeah,
I
the
preferred,
early rock stuff was,
yeah, the
yeah,
Hell is for Children and
yes,
Heartbreaker
exactly.
and all that stuff. But
Uh,
yeah,
I was I in high school I had the hots for Susanna Hoffs from
yeah,
the
they
Bangles, and
were fun.
I
Yeah, they
liked
were fun.
I liked some of the Go Go's tunes because they were kind of still punky.
Yeah,
So through the years, there's always been somebody that I just go. I was a huge Alanis Morissette fan during the '90s after Jagged Little Pill come out,
yeah,
because that
that
was
was
a
my
great
album.
album. I played the
Yeah,
fuck out of that album.
I love that.
So
I do love that album.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's a fucking great album. You could just listen to that, and it catches a lot of her different moods. And as far as the newer bands, Burning Witches really ranks up her high for me because it's metal, and you've got kick-ass guitar players. I mean,
yeah,
Courtney
oh
Cox, she's a studette. Okay,
yeah,
she's a badass on guitar. And Nita Strauss is an excellent guitar player. She shreds, and she's not bad to look at.
no, no, they're
No,
not bad to look
you
at.
know, but she's a fucking shredder, dude. So there's been a lot of the current female fronted bands and or artists that have come out that a lot of it's talent for me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean,
It's and
Orianthe's early stuff was kind of that Avril Lavigne. I mean, I like Avril Lavigne. I liked a lot of her early stuff
back
because it
then
had
maybe.
had that punk feel to it. Her newer stuff I haven't really paid attention to, but I like the songs. So
Yeah, I
they're out there. I like them, but a lot of it is talent just as much as fucking looks now. It really is. It's talent. So if you're a badass guitar player, I, I'm all about it. You know what I mean?
yeah, but yeah, I mean it's different musical styles for sure because
Yeah.
I don't I can listen to Ginger Spirit Box, Monochromatic Black, definitely Not Enough Space, Deadlands, shit like that all day.
Yeah.
And it's like that doesn't lose a step at all. And it's not that I don't listen to, Slaughter to Prevail when I want to, or even Falling in Reverse, even though I hate the singer guy, just because of his personally, I hate
Yeah.
because his singing's okay. But Bring Me the Horizon's got new stuff and old school Motionless in White. So there's a lot of just metalcore I listen to, but the girls I think they're coming on strong. And it's not because they're hot looking. It helps me, but
Yeah.
it doesn't sway me in any way because a lot of them, like I said, I listen to them. I don't watch videos of them all day. So very bright future for the female front people, and especially in metalcore, heavier music. Uh, and that's my home. I love the heavier music, so definitely looking forward to seeing all these lovely women this summer and chasing Tanya from Monochromatic Black down till I get to see her. And not just because I want to see her, because I do like they got a new song out, dude, and it's called Carnal. Oh, brutal, brutal, brutal. It's very good. Anyway, I think that's caught up to date with the female phenomenon.
Yeah.
As we're rolling
Well,
into 2025 here.
I kind of see Deadlands could possibly be on the verge of breaking soon.
I think not enough space will break before them, but I think
So.
Deadlands is there because they're Casey's really spreading her around to other bands too. She's trying to be, she's a big personality on TikTok also, gets a
Yeah.
lot of fans, but so is not enough space. I think the Moan Core really helped them pop up.
Okay.
People took it as like a joke at first, but then they listened to the song. It's like, holy shit, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they're pretty dead. They're the dead heat to catch up to the Gingers and Spirit Boxes of the world. And we'll see what happens. I like also another throw out Liz Fetish from Brat. Brat's a little more hard. They're probably more deathcore or
Well,
heavy metalcore. So
fucking Ginger's doing. They've been touring pretty fucking heavy in the last 3 months.
yeah, they started right when the album started before it came out.
So I mean,
Mm.
they've got a bunch of fucking dates lined up. So I mean,
Yeah, I think
this could push them mainstream.
yeah, yeah, they're there. Ginger's already, they're headlining festivals and stuff, so it's not like they're not on their way. They're there.
Okay.
I think behind them would be Spirit Box is the next because they're like usually second or third on the main stage. So they're creeping up there, and their new song they had a new song release, and I haven't heard it yet. I need to pop on there and get it, but yeah, they're more mainstreamish.
Okay.
I mean, I think their sounds more acceptable somewhat than Ginger, but they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna meet that level yet. But they're coming. They're coming on pretty strong. So it's interesting. Everybody, keep your eyes out for metal fronted by females. It's pretty cool. You got to give your macho stuff a rest and listen to some of these fine women frontmen because they're on it, man. They're on it. That's all I have for my phenomenal women episode today.
Awesome. Well, I think we could probably wrap it up then, Mikey.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
out, listen to some of these bands, give them a shot. There's a lot of good talent out there, young talent, trying to get noticed. Yeah, I see you.
The best. The best.
This is Skeet.
Lush and Mikey.
See ya.